Hello all my babies, this is Becca. Thank you so much for checking out my channel, BeccaTownSims. Today we're doing a speed build. This speed build is called Trop Petit Trianon, and it's kind of my joke because it's a reference to the Petit Trianon, which is a little chateau palace estate on the grounds of Versailles. So just to make sure you have the background, Versailles is the fabulously elaborate palace that the French king Louis XIV built. And the Petit Trianon is the estate that Marie Antoinette, very famous French queen, lived in. And it has nothing to do with the actual build that I'm building, but I thought that this kind of had a French country style, so it reminded me of France. So I was like, oh, let's call this like the little tiny Trianon. So that's what you have. And thinking about what to talk about for the speed build, have I got the tea for you, my baby honeys. We're gonna talk about Marie Antoinette. Because she's famous, because she's fabulous, and because people hated her guts. Now, I think she gets a really bad rap. I'm going to give you a little bit of some background information about Marie Antoinette. So she's not French. She's from Austria. She married into the French royal family. And relations between France and Austria were at the time, shall we say, frosty, negative, extremely hostile. So Marie married into the French family. She was in a little carriage. She came over to France. They were like, take off all your clothes. Those are Austrian clothes. Throw them away. Set them on fire. Get into a new carriage because that's an Austrian carriage. We'll get into a French carriage because you're French now. This may have been dramatized. So anyways, she came to court. She did okay. She kind of liked to party a lot, but not too bad. Started out, everybody just hated her because she was Austrian, and then they were like, wow, Marie really likes to stay out partying, but I don't know what they expected because she was like a young woman, you know? And her reputation started to sour from there. People started saying some nasty stuff about her, that she was having affairs because she didn't get pregnant. So of course, the ultimate goal of a royal marriage is to produce heirs. And Marie didn't get pregnant. Or she didn't get pregnant right away, I should say. Now, there are some theories about this, one of the more entertaining ones being that the king was incapable of doing his husbandly duties, if you follow my meaning, due to like a birth defect. So he had to have surgery before he could do his business. That's just one theory, though. Some other people think that maybe they just weren't very good at what they were doing and neither one of them liked the other very much, so they didn't try super hard to get pregnant until about 7 years into their marriage, when finally Marie got pregnant. However, the damage had been done. People were saying that the reason she didn't have the royal bébé was because she'd been sleeping around and hanging out with other dudes and had not been a good and faithful wife. So she already had a bad reputation when this really interesting thing happened that I want to tell you guys about. So this is called like the diamond necklace affair, or the affair of the diamond necklace. I don't know what order people say the words in. But anyways, there's a diamond necklace at the center, so you know it has to be interesting. So here's the background on the necklace thing. People already hated Marie Antoinette, yes. But skip and think of this jeweler. There's a jeweler that the last king, Louis XV, has commissioned to make an elaborate, flashy, gaudy necklace, all of diamonds, for his mistress, Madame du Barry. And unfortunately, the king dies before he pays off the necklace. And the jeweler had bought just a ton of diamonds because this thing is like real over the top, y'all. So the jeweler had almost bankrupted himself, knowing that the king was going to pay him back for this necklace. But then the king died, and the next Louis the 16th, who was his grandson, took over the throne, and he was like, I don't like granddad's mistress. She's out of here. She's gone. Goodbye, du Barry. She's out. And so the jeweler's like, wait, who's gonna buy this necklace? He tries to sell it, but it's just made of too many diamonds for the average person to buy. And keep in mind that the French Revolution is coming up. People who aren't nobles are broke, and the nobles even don't have enough money. So he's like, maybe Marie Antoinette will want this missing. Marie Antoinette did not like Madame du Barry, and she did not want any part of this necklace that had been commissioned for another woman. And now another character enters the scene. So our new character is called Jeanne de Valois Saint-Remy, and she has the blood of former French kings. She's descended from the Valois because her dad was like the son of, I don't know, the king's bastard or something. And she grows up poor though because her dad's drunk and her mom was just like a servant girl who fell in with the wrong crowd. She got some other brothers and sisters and they poor, okay? But a genealogist discovers that Jeanne and her family are descended from kings, and there's this like welfare thing going around where they're like, oh, we don't want like royal blood to be broke, so they get a stipend, they get some money. She's sent to a school, and when she graduates, she's supposed to like go be a nun or something. But Jeanne is like, honey, no, I'm not going to go be a nun. I am going to go be rich. So she goes and marries this guy who says he's also nobility, although he's not. They call themselves the Count and Countess, and they spend a bunch of money and don't make any. So Jeanne comes up with a plan. She's like, okay, I'm going to go to Versailles because you could just roll up in the gardens and just hang out until it was like a public park. As long as you were dressed nice, they would let you in. She's like, I'm going to go up to Versailles. I'm going to find Marie Antoinette and I'm going to be like, Marie Antoinette, you're a lady. I'm a lady. You like nice clothes. I like nice clothes. Why don't you give me some money? You get it, right? But Marie Antoinette did not want to have anything to do with this lady because she heard of her. She had a bad reputation because of the whole like real pregnant before getting married thing, and that wasn't cool back then. And so Marie Antoinette didn't want to meet her. So Jeanne had to come up with another plan to make that bank. So what she does is honestly like pretty good. So everybody knows about the diamond necklace thing, and Jeanne has had some lovers. She has slept around with this guy who's really good at forgery, and she's also currently sleeping with the Cardinal of Rohan, who Marie Antoinette hates. So Jeanne sees an opportunity. She gets her ex-boyfriend, the forger, to make her some letters that look like they've been sent from Marie Antoinette. And she goes to the cardinal and is like, hey boo, I know the queen hates you, but like, I'm her BFF. Look at these letters I have. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. You think you could like give me a good word? And she's like, I could totally give you a good word because like, look what Marie's talking about. So these forged letters, they made it look like Marie Antoinette really wanted that like flashy diamond necklace, and that the king wouldn't let her buy it because he thought it like looked bad with all the, you know, bankruptcy and the peasants starving. And so she says in the letters like, hey Jeanne, maybe if you could get your buddy, the Cardinal of Rohan, to buy the necklace and give it to me in secret, like I could forgive him. Because the reason Marie Antoinette hated him was because he told the king like not to marry her. So she was kind of holding a grudge. But anyways, Rohan falls for it, especially because Jeanne hires a prostitute who kind of looks like Marie Antoinette to meet up with him in the gardens of Versailles and be like, hey, give me the necklace. I totally forgive you. Like, we're cool if you just give me this necklace and don't tell anybody about it. So the dude does it. He buys the necklace, but not up front, right? He's like, okay, I'm going to finance it. He gives Jeanne some banknotes or whatever. She gets the necklace, y'all, and then her and her lovers take apart the diamonds and start selling the diamonds in London and France. And then the jeweler's like, hey, you never finished paying, and like, this isn't enough money. So he goes after the Cardinal of Rohan, and the Cardinal of Rohan is like, wait, what's up, Marie Antoinette? I thought you were gonna like give me some more money for this or whatever. And Marie Antoinette's like, what are you talking about? I don't want this. This was for Dubarry. Like, this is like dirty. I don't want it. And so the whole thing gets aired, and they take it to trial. They find out immediately who's behind it, because I guess this lady wasn't very subtle. In what turned out to be a major misstep, Louis and Marie decide to have a public trial instead of just punishing the guilty people, because they want to clear the names, because everybody's like trash talking Marie Antoinette about how she ruined this jeweler or whatever. And so they have the public trial, but after the trial, public opinion is even worse, because then they think that this was all an elaborate plan by Marie to make the Cardinal of Rohan look like an idiot because she hates him. And she had literally nothing to do with this, and people hated her more. So the outcome of this was basically that the Cardinal was found innocent moment because he was like hoodwinked, and that Jean and her boyfriends were in trouble. Jean gets sentenced to life in prison, but she ain't about that prison life, just like she wasn't about that nun life either, babies, okay? So she actually escapes prison by dressing like a boy. How? I don't know. Who brought her the clothes? How did she get out? I don't know. But she gets out of prison, she goes over to London, and then she writes her tell-all book, and she blames Marie Antoinette again, who had literally nothing to do with this, for the whole thing, and people eat it up. Everybody's like, oh, we're gonna cancel Marie Antoinette. She is so done. Side note on Jeanne de la Motte, which is her married name, she died actually because like that girl kept spending money she didn't have, and the debt collectors came to her house or her hotel or whatever, and she like hid, and when she was hiding, she freaking fell out of a window and busted her ass, okay? And that is how she died. And Marie Antoinette actually died like 2 years later because of a little thing called the French Revolution. But yeah, people hated her. They accused her of this whole like diamond necklace stuff. They also accused her of like sabotaging France in favor of Austria, which wasn't true at all. They accused her of all these affairs. They accused her of incest. And at her trial, she was like, I can't say anything to you guys because no matter what I do, y'all just use it against me. And like, of course, no, I didn't commit incest. What's wrong with y'all? And people were like, yeah, maybe she has a point. But it didn't matter because it was the French Revolution. And y'all know what happened during the French Revolution. That's when we got the fun killing machine, the guillotine. And that is how Marie Antoinette met her end. She probably didn't deserve it. She did spend a lot of money. They called her, what was it, Madame de Fessy, for spending so much. She had elaborate clothes, but she actually did try to curb her spending when she like realized how bad the revolution, not the financial situation was getting. She like dressed a little bit more simply. She had like her small palace, the Petit Trianon. She kind of wanted a simple life, but people hated her no matter what she did. And that's my little lesson about Marie Antoinette. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked this build, which I didn't talk about at all. You can find it on the gallery. It's called the Trop Petit Trianon. And you can find me on the gallery as BeccaTownSims. You can also find me on Instagram as BeccaTownSims. So if you guys like this video and my Spill the Tea on History series, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, or leave me a comment. You can tell me about what kind of history you'd like to hear about. You can also tell me what kind of build you'd like to see, because like I am not ahead on my builds, okay? Like I constantly need ideas. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys come back to see me again.